So tonight, the 5-0 Knicks. Yes, I said it. The 5-0, the undefeated, the number one defense in the NBA, New York Knickerbockers, traveled down to San Antonio to play the 7-1 veteran, well-executing, we don't make mistakes San Antonio Spurs. That's how I like to categorize them. I mean, Popovich and that team are just, they do their jobs. So, in my opinion, tonight's game is a real test for the Knicks. I know they've played a couple playoff teams already this year, but to me, Miami was their first real test, and this to me is their second real test. You are going to play against a team that does not really crack under pressure moments. You're going to play a team that is really good at, no matter where they play, but really good at home. They execute. They believe in team defense. They believe in a team offense. I mean, you'll probably agree with me on this one. Popovich runs the Spurs similar to like a college basketball team. They don't do isolation basketball. They run screens. They run pick. They post up Duncan. They run screens off of that. They run executed basketball plays.
I don't think that's college basketball necessarily, but I think...
Well, I think just the point that, the college coaches wind up structuring everything so well that every play is their own conception. I can see that totally with the way Popovich's offense is run. So I get the point he's making on that.
I'm just saying, in comparison to what you see in other NBA teams where it's kick it to a guy on the wing, everybody get out of his way, or maybe one guy comes over and sets a screen for him and curls out to the side for an open jump shot.
But I don't feel like the teams the Knicks have played mostly so far this season play basketball that way. I mean, you look at the Heat; they play very unselfish basketball. I mean,
they still run isolation basketball. They don't run set plays. They run
set
plays. Even Ray Allen's not coming around screens anymore. Ray Allen's standing there waiting for LeBron or Wade to drive and kick it out to him. I just watched that whole Clipper game last night. They do not run set plays pretty much, man. They maybe have one every 5 possessions. San Antonio is a team that walks up the court and executes on every play.
It's just a different style. They play a half-court style of offense. Some teams play an up-and-down offense.
That's all I'm trying to say. I feel San Antonio runs more of a... To me, college basketball is more of a pure form of basketball. It's about moving the ball. It's about getting everybody involved. It's about using the team.
It depends on the team, and it depends on the coach. It's anywhere. That's all I'm saying is that I understand where you're going with the style that the Spurs play. I just don't agree with categorizing it as a college style of play, because to me the college style of play isn't that just running plays and not having isolation. It's I don't know. It's more, and it depends on the coach. Everybody coaches different.
Oh, I think just in terms of structure, I think is what he meant. It's much more structured and organized, and like he said, there is less. It's more involving the team. Where if you look at Miami, I'm not saying they don't involve the team, but it is more geared towards one guy, like whether it be LeBron or Wade driving to the hole.
But they played also Philly twice. Philly doesn't have an isolation guy that they just kick it to. They got rid of Iguodala.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
So they play. That's what I'm saying is that they've played teams that play this style of ball a little bit already. I don't think they're going to be completely taken off guard.
No, but they haven't played anybody that executes this style of play better than San Antonio.
I was going to say,
San Antonio, they run that style of offense better than anybody in the league. I'm not going to deny that.
Well, listen, I think the bottom line here is outside of Miami, the Knicks haven't really versed any tough opponents. I mean, Philadelphia is probably going to wind up being good, but without Bynum, they're just trying to find themselves right now. So
the Bynum thing was a big deal with how they tried to structure this team in the offseason, hence why they let Iguodala go. They want Bynum to be the focal point of what they do on offense.
Yeah. San Antonio is going to be a much tougher opponent. Yeah,
because San Antonio doesn't care who scores. They just don't. It makes no difference to them whether they have 10 guys, and they go 9-10 deep onto their bench. Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, it's unbelievable. They get 9-10 deep when they're on their bench.
And they're getting a lot of the younger guys involved, including two of the wing players, Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard, who have been playing really well so far to start off the season. So
Yeah,
they're getting a lot of people
yeah.
involved.
Now in this game tonight, you're going to see. I don't know who in God's green earth is going to match up with Melo on this San Antonio team. I don't know who they have that's going to be able to match up one-on-one with him. If he gets isolated by himself against the guy, I don't think they have anybody in San Antonio that consistently will stop Melo. Now, it's basketball. He's not going to shoot 100%. Nobody shoots 100% in basketball. It's just how it works. So, really, what I'm interested in, that's what San Antonio's got to deal with. That, to me, that's their key thing defensively. How do we match up with Melo? How do we stop Melo from beating us? How do the Knicks match up with San Antonio? To me, is even more. How do they stop Parker and Ginobili?
Well, I think this year, Parker and Ginobili really have not been as good as they have been in years past. Ginobili's actually coming off the bench, and in the last game they played against the Lakers, he only played 19 minutes. So, honestly, when it comes to those two, I think the time is right for the Knicks to take advantage. But, I mean, they're the veterans who know when to come back. So I think they're both due for breakout games. And, like we talked about, the young rotation of the players that they're trying to work in, whether it's Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green, Tiago Splitter, or DeJuan Blair in the front court, Gary Neal at backup point guard. Those are the guys that are going to have to come in, bring in some big energy, spell some of the veterans, and they're the ones who are going to have to try to put their mark on this game for San Antonio to win it.
Pretty much. That's a good way to look at it. Now, so I guess to me the bottom line is, who's this game mean more to? And I'm pretty sure we all know. I'm pretty sure this is more of an obvious answer. But I'm more curious to hear why you think what you think. So, Mike, in your opinion, does this game mean more to New York or San Antonio?
I think it means more to the Knicks at this point, simply because the Heat are really the only major opponent they've beaten in this whole stretch. I mean, like I said, I thought Philadelphia was kind of ripe for the picking when they got him. And, the other teams don't even really have 500 records. So I think, especially, it's not just that they're playing San Antonio, they're doing it on the road. In the early seasons, if you want to find out if they're for real, you're going into the building of one of the best teams of the last decade, still with guys like Duncan. If you could play up to their level tonight, goes a long way to making people think you're for real.
Yeah, well, like me and Dave were saying the other day, that this stretch of games the Knicks have coming up, I mean, playing San Antonio tonight, then flying out and playing a really tough Memphis team tomorrow, that's tough.
Yeah.
And like I said to Dave, I think it's a win for the Knicks if they can get out of the next 3 games 2-1.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they sweep. Even if somehow they beat San Antonio and beat Memphis, I think going home playing Indiana, even though they haven't looked great this year, still a tough team to play.
Memphis has actually looked pretty good this year.
Memphis has
looked really good this year. I was saying Indiana.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
I think Memphis will be the really tough one out of all 3 games for them to beat. I just think they're playing so well right now, and they're so young. I like them a lot. The Indiana game, it's going to be a tough one. I still think the Knicks will wind up pulling that one out just because they're at home. But I absolutely agree with the point you're making.
Now, in my opinion, obviously, like I said, I felt like I knew the answer for both of you. I just was more curious to hear your reasoning than anything else. Because honestly, to me, I obviously agree. I do think this game means more to the Knicks than the Spurs, because we all know the Spurs are going to be there when it's all said and done. We know they're going to be, minimum second round of the playoffs, most likely, if not the Western Conference Finals. Obviously, it's hard to go that far ahead with injuries and anything else that can just, you don't know what happens. But to me, it's a situation where the Knicks have an opportunity not to show anybody else but themselves that they're for real. That to me is because look, New York fans right now, they all are probably thinking exactly the same exact thing. Can we win in the playoffs? I'm serious. I don't think many New York fans right now care much about regular season record. I think Knicks fans want to see their team win a freaking playoff series. I'm telling you, I really think that's what Knicks fans are worried about. So to me, this game is a opportunity for the Knicks to show themselves that they're serious, that they are here to compete, and that they have an opportunity to make a good run at things this year because, in my opinion, you look at this team, still no Iman Shumpert, and still no Amari Stoudemire. Offensively, I don't know what's going to happen once Amari Stoudemire comes back, him and Melo. That's going to be an interesting thing to look at, and we'll get on that when Amari comes back. We'll say, wow, they look good, or wow, we were waiting for this to happen, whatever. When it comes down to Shumpert, though, the Knicks don't even care about Shumpert's offensive production. The guy can score points, but they don't care about it.
No.
Defensively, he's arguably the best player they have on the perimeter. Obviously Chandler holds the inside down, but on the perimeter, he's arguably the best defender they got.
But I will say the nice thing about them bringing Jason Kidd in is they're not as reliant on Shumpert as they were last year. Last year he was basically the only one who could play defense, and when he comes back, he will be able to ease himself back into action because the onus isn't going to be on him as much this year as it was last year. So that's the one good thing.
Yeah. So obviously now we'll make a quick prediction. We'll hit our next music break. Who do we think wins? Just for fun.
I'm gonna say Spurs 90-89.
90-89. So he's calling for a close, pretty low scoring game.
We're going Knicks 94-86.
Okay. Knicks by 8. I'm actually gonna go with the Spurs as well. I think the Spurs take this game, but I agree with what both you guys did with the low score. I think that this game stays 95 or under for both teams. I don't think either team hits 100
honestly,
points.
I'm going to throw in a little something. I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks jump out to about a 15-point lead with the Spurs wind up coming back.